Small Business Administrator, Kelly Loeffler. Kelly, great to have you this weekend. Thank you for being here. What are you telling concerned small business owners about this? And do you see small business owners actually benefiting from these tariffs on their foreign competitors?
Well, Maria, great to be with you. President Trump is fighting for small businesses, and they know that. I mean, nothing says increased confidence for small businesses and their future like we've just seen this incredible jobs report of 228,000. Small businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs. So this hiring pace is incredible, along with the other economic data that has really been concerning small businesses, including inflation, which is now 4-year lows for core inflation. But look, small businesses know what they've dealt with the last 4 years under Joe Biden, who effectively surrendered to China. President Trump is fighting back. He's fighting back against our allies and our adversaries by standing up for our American manufacturers, our small businesses. And in fact, 99% of all American manufacturers are small businesses. I'm actually visiting a steel manufacturer after our conversation shortly. And what's going to happen there is, understanding how much they are hiring, how excited they are to be able to have those trade barriers being fought for, that they can export their goods. And I'm seeing that across the country at over more than 100 manufacturers we've talked with. Wow. And this is vitally important that we deal with this now, because the trade deficit went from 1 trillion to 1.2 trillion in the space of a year. It's only accelerating and getting worse. We're more dependent on China than ever.
Now, unbelievable. Meanwhile, what about lending to small business? Sources told Charlie Gasparino here at Fox Business that the administration is going to be pushing big banks to ramp up lending to small businesses in order to spur economic growth. What's happening? Are they not lending enough?
Well, look, banks have dealt with massive regulation from under Joe Biden, and they're having to deal with massive capital requirements. That's where the SBA comes in and makes things, remove some of the friction that has been in lending. We're doing about 1,800 loans a month just to small businesses right now, even before disaster loans. That's at kind of record levels. So, the certainty we can provide for our lending partners is critical. And you had Jamie Dimon in his annual CEO letter this week mentioning the importance of small business. Small businesses make up 99% of all businesses across this country. They are the backbone of our country. They're the heartbeat of our communities. So we've got to make sure they have access to capital, because that's their lifeblood.
And the House advancing President Trump's budget resolution this week in the one big beautiful bill of tax breaks and spending cuts, including provisions that lower the corporate tax rate and extend the 20% qualified business income deduction. How important are these and other tax cuts to small business? Do you have confidence that we are going to see those tax cuts extended by year end?
I have a lot of confidence that Congress is going to get this tax bill done. We have to get it done. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Right. And the sooner we can do it, the better, because that will provide important certainty to all small businesses. They may not all be impacted by tariffs, but they're all impacted by tax. And it's certainly the 20% pass-through deduction. It's immediate expensing, bonus depreciation, all of these nuances that make them confident in investing in America, just like the large companies you've seen where they've come in and already put $6 trillion in, that will also have a knock-on effect positively for small businesses as those communities benefit from manufacturing and all the subsequent investments that happen as a result.
Yeah, you're also cutting and trying to uncover fraud and waste and abuse. A few weeks ago, DOJ uncovered massive loan fraud at the SBA that took place during the COVID-19 pandemic. This was incredible, Kelly. Over 5,500 loans, adding up to more than $300 million. They were granted to children under the age of 11. What can you tell us about this ongoing investigation?
Well, it didn't stop there, Maria. There was another $300 million to applicants that were over the age of 115. So what we've done is change our loan applications to include date of birth and also citizenship verification, because we've also found loans that were going to non-citizens. So we have a zero tolerance policy on fraud, but we also have zero tolerance on waste and abuse. And so that's, I'm a business person. I'm doing exactly what any business person would come in and do and say, where are things going off the rails here? They went badly off the rails under the Biden administration. They were waiving fees to the tune of $400 million annually to the cost of taxpayers. We've restored that. So the list goes on, and it's things like having 11 data centers when you only need 2. And dozens of offices that we don't even have the keys to anymore, but are still paying leases.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's just like this stuff happens on autopilot, and then people didn't look at it, and it just kept going under Biden. So we're grateful that you're actually looking under every rock. Kelly, it's great to have you this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.